What's going on, everybody? Spaceballs here. Welcome back to another Kingdom of Heroes video. Today, guys, we're going to be talking about rune crafting and rune reforge, refine, appraisal, whatever you want to call it. Because I was even confused about this up until a few days ago, and I've been teaching myself how to do it and how it works. So first up, let's go over the craft here, which is right on the right-hand side of the screen here, which is the craft book. Click on that, and then you're going to get this menu here, which is going to give you rune, gem, and special. Now let's quickly go over the special. This is where you can craft the dust, which is for the Reforge, your LDs, and your legendaries. Now this is why I always tell you guys to farm Ultra Realm even if you can't get a high score, because these tombs, tome, whatever you want to call it, is really hard to get, and you need a lot of them to do this stuff. So even if you're getting a C or a D, whatever it is, at least you'll get some of these along the way. But you can see I only have one, and I pretty much do my Ultra Realm every single day, even though I'm getting a really low score. So these are really hard to come by, so you definitely want to make sure you're doing that. As far as the dust goes, I've been getting a lot of these from the key event, which I will go over in a second here as well. And I've just been saving them up. I'm going to show you how to use these as well in just a second. Now, as far as the legendary and LD pieces go, I would not do these, especially early mid-game, because you are going to need these tombs for your rune crafting. If you want to craft runes, they're really just not worth it, because you have to feed away 2 LD 4 stars or 2 regular 4 stars. So early mid game, this is just not going to be worth it. So I would stay far away from this. I wouldn't even consider doing it until you're like more, mid to late game and you have a bunch of extra resources and it's not an issue for you. But I would definitely not focus on this right away. Just stay away from these legendary and LD pieces. I know they look amazing, but it's just not worth it. Now the gems is like what pops up in your shop, where you can kind of grind the rune, we'll say. So let's say you get a speed grind for a vampire rune. You could put that on your vampire rune and grind up the speed 1 to 3% or 4%, whatever it goes up to. And then they have no vance, intermediate, expert, no vance, and then these are just different types of grinds. So let's just click one here, and then you could select a set. Let's say we want a life set. Click confirm. We don't have any of those available. And the thing with gem crafting and rune crafting, you need those types of gems or runes to be able to craft a gem or a rune. So this is actually really expensive in a way. At least it seems that way right now, being like 4 or 5 weeks into the game. And then as you go higher and higher, then you need more materials. So now you need this dust stuff here. And as you go down, you need those tombs that I was talking about. And it's pretty much the same all the way down the line here. Now, once again, I wouldn't worry about this early to mid game. You can pretty much buy these from the shop. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. I think I have one for Swift. So as you can see here, this is the gem I'm talking about. 2 to 3 speed. You could just buy these from the shop instead of trying to craft them here, because you have to use these to craft, another one. And I just don't think it's worth it early game. Maybe as you get more, again, mid to late game, this might be a little more worth it, because you'll have a bunch of these in your storage, and then you won't mind feeding some of them away. Because the way I look at it right now, that Swift grind is going to be really handy for me, and I definitely wouldn't want to feed it away to try to get something else. So for me, I probably would just stay away from this. And then we got the rune crafting, which is super expensive. Now, the expert ones aren't too bad, because you'll probably get a lot of purple runes that you won't want to use, or are just sitting in your storage. So let's use life for an example, because I think I have a lot of those. Then as you can see here, we got all of our life runes popped up on the screen. And we can do auto select materials. And what it does is it puts all of the stuff you need here. And then we got the dust. We can easily craft a rune here. Now, if we look at this rune here, this is a flat attack. I'll probably never use this rune, so I wouldn't mind feeding it away for this. Because it's a slot 2 flat attack, I usually like to go, HP, defense, crit damage, crit rate, something like that in my slot 2. So I probably never would use this rune. This would be the kind of runes you want to use for your rune crafting. Runes that you're just never, ever going to use. You don't want to be throwing good runes in here, because you might get a bad rune out of it. So let's see if we could even craft one here, because I don't mind losing. See, the thing is, I'm not sure why it picked my legendary rune over my heroic rune there, because you don't need a legendary rune for the expert one. So I'm not quite sure why it did that. But like this defense rune, like I wouldn't even want to feed these away right now. Maybe just because I'm still early mid game. Maybe when I'm late game, I'll like this a lot more for the heroic ones. But just be careful and don't just throw runes in here. Make sure they're runes you're never ever going to use. And when we go down a slot here to this superior, this gets crazy expensive, guys. Like, you have to feed away so many runes just to get one rune. Now, you can pick the slot for the superior. So let's say you wanted a slot 6. Now, if you could pick the substat, I actually would love this. Like, if I could pick attack percentage, HP, or defense, I would actually love this, but you can't. You can only pick the set and the slot. And this costs 8 tombs, guys, 40 dust, and you need to feed away 2 legendary runes and 6 heroic ones to maybe get a usable rune out of it. Now, with Reforge, you could probably make, a rune usable, but if you get like a flat or something like that, it's going to ruin your day. And I just wouldn't recommend doing this right away, once again, until you have a bunch of useless legendary and heroic runes that you're going to do nothing with anyways. But I just don't feel like this is early game stuff. Eventually, I'm going to start crafting some stuff, but for right now, I'm going to stay far, far away from this. It's really up to you guys at the end of the day. I just kind of wanted to show you how it works and go over it with you here. So like this rune here, I could reforge this rune and it would probably turn into a good rune, so I would not want to feed it away. This one, maybe I could feed away because it's flat HP. I wouldn't mind so much. I actually leveled this up early game, but I could use this on a 3-star as well. And then we got this one here. And again, I could just reforge it and make it into a better rune. Maybe if I wanted to switch it from like a life set to a stun set or something like that, maybe that would be, a good thing. But you still have to feed away 2 legendary runes and 6 heroic to do it. So for me, personally, right now, I'm going to stay away from this. And as you can see, I don't have the tombs anyways, and most of you guys aren't going to have these tombs. So I would just say save up as many tombs as you can. Keep grinding the altar realm. Just do your runs like I tell you guys all the time, whether you're getting a high score or not, and just try to collect as many of these as possible. And then when you get mid to late game, you can come back to this and probably craft a bunch of runes. I feel like that would be your best bet here. Now, as far as intermediate and expert go, there is no problem with doing this. If you have a bunch of life runes that you don't want, vampire, whatever it is, this one is not too bad. But the superior, I would definitely stay away from it right now. And for this one here, you can pick the set, but you can't pick the slot. You can only pick the set. You can't pick the rune type or the slot or anything like that. You can just turn, Havoc runes into another expert Havoc rune. And you need 4 blues and 2 heroics. Now, again, if you have a bunch of useless runes, no problem. This one ain't too bad, but it still seems a little expensive in my eyes. But I'll probably mess around with this in the future. Now, if I could change my, let's say my life runes into stun runes, I would do this expert all day long. And I guess that's why they didn't let us pick our sets for this one, because people would just go crazy with it and switch all their runes to stun runes. But the way it is now, it's just doesn't look too tempting, but this is probably the better one to do if you are going to craft some runes. And then intermediate, you're probably not going to have too much magical runes anyway, so you're probably never even going to have to worry about this. And yeah, that's it for the craft part. Now let's get into the reforge part of things, which is here in your runes. Now let's find a rune that we can reforge. Let's just open all this. Let's hit legendary and let's hit all. Let's see what pops up here. So this one here, this would actually be a let's see how this rune rolls real fast, and I will be right back. Okay, we're back. And as you can see, this rune rolled terrible, which is perfect, because I wanted to show you guys a perfect example of a reforge rune, and this is it. This rolled attack 3 times and defense once, and when you look at it, it doesn't even look like a legendary rune. So these are the kind of runes you want to be reforging. A legendary vampire slot 2 HP percentage rune is perfect for reforge. So what you want to do is look up here at the top. You got craft, and the craft is where you amplify, which we were talking about before. And then you got transmute, which is actually switching out a substat. So let's say I want to switch attack for crit rate. As long as it's a vampire grind, we'll call it, I can switch out the flat attack for crit rate. And same thing with any of these stats, as long as I have the grind in my storage. And then you got the amplify. We don't have any amplifies, but what that means is, let's say I had an accuracy grind. I can grind up my accuracy, whatever the grind was. So let's say it's 3 to 10%. I can grind the accuracy up 3 to 10%. And that's pretty much it for the amplify transmute part, which is the craft tab. And then you got the Reforge tab right next to it. And this is what makes legendary runes good runes. Now, as you can see, it costs 10 of the Reforge coins on the bottom here. It costs 10,000 silver. And we could take this rune and totally re-roll the substats. You click this little question mark here, and this will kind of go down everything with you. So if you're a little unsure on how you want to do it, kind of just read down this, and this will kind of explain everything to you. Reforging a rune changes 4 of its substats. And that's what we want to do here, because this rune is just terrible. Yes, I like the accuracy. Yes, I like the defense. But when you see 91 attack, you just want to reforge this all day long. So what we're going to do is we're going to click Reforge on the bottom here. And I'm going to show you where I'm getting all of these Reforge coins / gold from in just a second here, because it's coming from the event. And I highly recommend you guys grinding this event like crazy as much as you can, because there's no limit on it. So you can pretty much grind the campaign or the rune dungeon or the rift. You can grind anything, gives you keys. So it doesn't matter what you grind, just grind something and keep going as much as possible to pick up as much of this gold as possible, because you don't know how long they're going to give it to us for in these events. So the more you get here, the more it's going to help you in the future when you want to refine your legendary runes. And just make sure you're only reforging your legendary runes. Don't do it on the blue or purple ones unless the purple one is like a slot 2 HP percentage and you really need, a slot 2 HP percentage. Then it would be okay, but I would recommend just saving them as much as possible and just keep grinding this event and get as many as you can. So we're going to reforge here on the bottom right, and let's see what we get. So there you go. Check that out, guys. We just turned a not so good rune into a beautiful rune. And those little diamonds next to the rolls, it just means how many times the substat got rolled into. So crit rate is 1, defense is 1, speed is 0, and accuracy is 17. Now this is not the best rune, but we did get accuracy, we did get speed, we got defense, and we got crit rate, which fits HP percentage perfectly. This would actually be a really good Hildegard rune, and I'm probably going to switch this on to her because I think the one I have on her is not so great, and this is just going to fit her perfectly. And then you could pick on the bottom where the check mark is here. You could pick this side or this side, and we're going to stick with the new rune because this rune is so much better than this 91 attack over here on the left. So we're going to select it, and now we have a perfect, beautiful, usable rune, and then we can grind the speed, the defense, the crit rate, and the accuracy in the craft spot here. And once again, just make sure, guys, you're doing this on runes that you are going to keep forever. So I recommend doing it on 6-star legendary percentage runes only, or speed, slot 4. Don't throw these around. Don't waste them. Make sure you're getting value out of them, because this is what's really going to help you get your runes perfectly tuned for endgame content. So I'm very happy with this Reforge, guys. Now let's go over where I'm getting these Reforge stones / gold from. And I will show you here. It is in this event. Now, I don't know if it's in other places in the game. I know that it wasn't in the game until they came out with this event, and then they added the Reforge to the game. I'm sure they're going to put it in the game somewhere. I know you can craft it like I showed you before, and maybe they're going to keep just putting it in events. I'm not too sure on that yet. Let me know in the comments if you know. And pretty much, you want to make sure you're doing 60 key rolls here. We still have 7 days left on this event. So if you haven't been grinding it, get to grinding, because you want those Reforged stones more than anything. So you hit start and make sure you're doing 60, because then you get ×3 rewards, supposed to if you only do 20. So for the first stage here, it's completely random. Doesn't matter where you go. Just kind of go with what your gut tells you to. Then I'll show you how to do the last part of this. Here you're just trying to pick up, runes, gems. Sometimes there is refines on the map. This one we don't have them. But if you get the purple chest, most of the time there's Reforged stones in it. So for here, we want to start all the way to the right, because every time there's a ramp, they're going to go over the ramp. So all the way to the right, over the ramp to the purple chest. The second one doesn't really matter because there's only one purple chest. Sometimes you can get 2. It is kind of rare, but it does happen. So for her, it doesn't really matter where we put her. And then as they go to the top, we collect the chest, get the rewards, and then we get ×3 whatever the rewards are. So we got 3 promo fairies, 3 gems, runes, and energy. Let's try to do it again and see if we can't get some of these refined, reforged. I know I'm probably saying things all over the place. That's because every game is different, and I got so many different things in my head. But we'll just call them reforged stones from now on. So here, once again, it's random. Doesn't matter where you put them. Let's just hope we can get some reforged gold here. I like when there's summons. We missed the summon. Because if you get a... Oh, we got the summon. Because if you get a summon, you get ×3 if you're using 60 keys. So once again, we're going to start here because he or she is going to go over the ramp, So we start here. This one doesn't matter again because there's only one purple chest. And let's see if we can't get some of those Reforge. Nope, we didn't get any, but we got 6-star runes, guys. 3 6-star legendary runes, which is amazing. That's probably the best thing you can get from this event next to the Reforged stones. Let's go one more time here. Let's go one more time here and see if we can't get some of that gold. Some of these runs I've gotten like 15 bags, 20 bags, 30 bags. And today, I don't think there's any gold today. I feel like sometimes it's random. Some days you get summons, some days you get gold. I guess it all depends. So for this one, we want to start him here. This one doesn't matter. We just want to make sure we get to our purple chest. The other day I was getting double chests like crazy. Today we're not getting any, unfortunately. And I'm just sad it's not showing us the Reforge stones, because that's where I got all those Reforged stones from. So let's do one more. That's all we can do. But I promise you guys, that's where my 100 bags of Reforged gold came from. So make sure you're grinding your keys. Make sure you're doing this event. And if you don't see any gold, maybe wait a day, wait for it to reset, and then you'll see the gold after that. Because some days I get a ton, and as you can see here, we're getting none. And now we have 2 purple chests, which is amazing. So we're going to start one here. He's going to go over and over. And I don't think we can get to the second one, because he's going to go over. He's going to go over. Oh yeah, I guess we could start her here. Okay, we can get to the second one. Let's hope we get some gold here, but I promise you, this is where the gold is coming from, guys. Don't think I'm crazy. We didn't get it again, but we got another set of 6-star legendary runes. So amazing. And that's what you're going to use your Reforged stones on anyways. And we got a bunch of skills. But as you can see, this event is amazing. Whether you're getting the refined, Reforged stones, or the runes, or the fairies, it's just a great event. So you want to grind because it is unlimited, guys. You can do it as much as you want. It's not like other games where there's a limit and you can only get so much. You could just keep going and going and just collect as much as you want. So have fun with it and just grind those keys, guys. I've been grinding my keys in 3-1. You can grind them anywhere, but I would just stick to a place that you can do it really, really fast and efficiently. But that is going to end it for this one, guys. We already picked the winners for our 1,000 sub giveaway. Once we hit 1.5k subs, we're going to be doing another huge giveaway, because we're growing so fast here on YouTube, and I'm so grateful to every single one of you for it. We always have the random giveaway going on this channel. Make sure you're subbed, commenting, and liking on all the videos to be a part of it. Our Twitch and Discord is always in the description. As always, I love you guys. I will see you in the next one. Spaceballs out. Peace.